When I teach a class on wealth, one of the first things I tell my students is that their success rests on how well they understand how the universal law works. I would also like to add that creating money is a spiritual science that anyone can understand and use. The spiritual laws that control how you can bring money into your life, or anything else you want, are just as strong and useful as the laws that control physics, math, and other sciences. Like a lot of other people, I learned about wealth when I was having trouble with money. In order to get money, I committed to prosperity thinking, and over time, I learned how to make it work for me. I finally won $150,000 in my state's lottery. I then started my own successful business with almost no money, and now I have plenty of money to travel and do the things that make me happy. Law of attraction. Money. I have won more money than just the lottery. I have won theatre tickets, trips, and many other things. Over time, I paid more and more attention to the process of creation. Soon, I was writing magazine pieces about wealth and showing people like you how to bring money into your life. A lot of work went into making this radio program. It talks about a lot of things, like affirmations for the law of attraction, the practice of getting, and other important ideas. It's my advice that you listen to this show over and over again, paying close attention to what I say. It's said that repeating is the key to learning, and I really don't think anyone can take in all of this information in one sitting. As you listen to my show, don't forget to take notes for later use, and keep this show close at all times for review. There are a lot of people who have used these methods to get ahead in life, pay off their debts, or make more money. There's no way for me to promise that this program will help you win the lottery. All I can do is show you how to use the universal law in your life. You can use this strong force for good, but you need to know how to approach it and how to use it. To be honest, there are no limits to how much wealth you can achieve. Are you ready to do the spiritual work that needs to be done? Of course, being wealthy also means being healthy, having good friends, and having peace of mind. But most of us already have some or all of those things, so let's talk about money first. The law of attraction, happiness, and prosperity. The universal rule is something you need to understand in order to get the money you need. Don't be scared off by the title. It's really easy. The world runs on the universal rule, which is a part of everything in it. Some people call this power God, while others call it the infinite. Something important to keep in mind is that this amazing creative force works through our awareness and lets us attract what we believe in our hearts. You will bring into your life exactly what you put out there in your thoughts, feelings, and hopes. If you ask me, how does the general rule let us bring what we believe into our lives? What's the answer? The answer is that the universal rule is designed to reflect or copy our deepest feelings. Also, keep this idea in mind. Really, I want you to remember what I'm about to say because it's that important. This amazing power doesn't know how to say no to you. No matter what, the law can never say no. To say it again, the global law doesn't know how to fail you or say no. And this comes as a big surprise to some because we're so used to hearing stories about how God hurt people or how God spread fire over a town. That's not all the truth, though. The facts show that some people in history had bad luck when they didn't have faith or when their faith wavered. In the same way, the global law will cater to your needs and wants, but you have to trust that it will happen. And knowing how faith works is the best way to grow it. The law of attraction. The spiritual science of getting money. It's really that easy. A good way to think about the universal rule is as a waiter. When you go in and ask for steak and eggs, the chef won't tell you that you'll be getting fried fish instead. It is his job to bring you the steak and eggs or whatever you want, no matter what. The server in the diner and the general law both don't have an opinion on what you should do or how much money you should make. So this choice gives you the freedom to live the life you want with as much money as you want. Either you're rich or you live from dollar to dollar. You always have a choice. You might think, wait a minute, Eddie, if everyone in the world can be well off, then why are there so many people poor or barely making it? Well, friend, the answer is in what they believe. People have taught us that to get what we want, we have to work hard and fight. We have to work hard to get a raise at work. Some of us have even been told that the only way to get rich is to work hard and sweat. But the truth is that you could have always been doing well if your faith is strong enough and your commitment is complete. After that, everything you need will find its way to you and enter your life at just the right time. There will be enough money for you to pay your bills, eat out, explore, and do anything else you need to do. As you can see, listener, our daily lives are shaped by the thoughts and ideas we hold in our minds. Suppose you keep attracting bad money situations into your life. Guess what? This is because deep down you believe in struggle and lack. But if you think good thoughts and really believe that someone is always taking care of you, you will always have money and good things will happen in your life. You'll be drawn to it. Happiness and success. Being aware. The law of attraction. What do you believe in your heart? That's the question. What you think about money is important because your thoughts, beliefs, and most importantly, your dreams are what hold you back from success. So, how much money do you expect? Do you know what your goals are? If you want something badly enough, you have to be determined to see it through until the end. As a result, if you aren't sure about your resolve or are only half-hearted about it, the universal law will also only be half-hearted in its response. Get a 3x5 card and write down your cash goals. Would $10,000 work for you, or would $100,000? Don't make having $1 million in the bank your goal if you can't picture yourself having it. Writing down $50,000 seems safer to you, so do that. Trust that this, or something even better, is on its way to you. After writing down your goal, look at it every so often to remind yourself of how rich you are. The world we live in is very wealthy, and every day there are new millionaires. Some of these millionaires work hard to get their money, while others win big at the lottery, in a raffle, or in Las Vegas. You should keep in mind that if someone else has $1 million, you can too. Going to a Rolls-Royce shop is one of my favorite ways to spend money. I really picture how nice it would be to own a Rolls-Royce when I see all those fancy cars. In my thoughts, I see myself driving my Cornish roadster along the coast and then back home. I feel like I can have money because I'm around expensive cars and houses. You should go to places where wealth is found if you want to learn about it. Being in a public park or train stop in downtown will never make you feel rich. Plan a trip to the most expensive place you can think of to feel what it's like to have money. It could be a wealthy area, a fancy hotel, a pricey restaurant, or a nice shopping store. If you pick the pricey place, for example, you should go there. Not having enough money for the coffee and sweetbreads doesn't matter. You can feel the wealth because you are there, so you can make these rich thoughts a part of how you feel. That's what this game is all about. Take note of the soft furniture and the fancy feel of the place while you're there. Also, remember the people who drive up in their fancy cars. Once you know what it's like to be wealthy, you can use these strong memories to help you picture yourself being wealthy. Beverly Hills was the first time I stayed at a fancy hotel. As I walked up to my room, I took note of how fancy and grand the lobby was. There were beautiful paintings on the walls and a big grand piano in the hall. The carpet was about 2 inches thick. From $300 to $2,000 a night, the rooms were very expensive, and you could tell that only wealthy people stayed there. On my way. Back down that afternoon, I lingered in the hallway and enjoyed how it felt. This kind of exercise can help you become more aware of your wealth. Stay away from places where people are always talking about lack and bad things if you want to draw plenty. Things that are negative can bring you down, and if they are negative enough, you can feel them because they push against you and try to get into your thinking. Without spiritual strength, things can get in the way of your growth and sway you in the wrong direction. If your friends talk about not having enough or being able to do something, change the topic or go somewhere else. You should work on wealth thought, but don't tell them that. It's fine to share this kind of thinking with people who understand it, of course. However, the fact that you are keeping it a secret makes it easier for you to draw wealth. For instance, talking to someone when you're scared can help you feel better, because you let go of energy when you talked about what was going on. If you didn't tell anyone about your fears, they would make you feel bad. Keep it a secret when you are working on a wealth mindset. This makes your power stronger because you don't have to deal with bad outside influences. Do you believe it or not, listener? One silly talk or fight about your commitment to wealth can ruin weeks of spiritual work. So don't open your mouth. The word secret comes from the same root as the word sacred. That's why you should keep your work on wealth holy by not telling anyone about it. Things will change in your life as your inner spirit grows. It will no longer be that you just go through life and deal with whatever comes your way. Instead, you will realize that your life has a deep meaning and is developing according to your inner beliefs. Your money will last longer, people will pay you back what they owe you, and you'll find more ways to make money. You may even feel spiritually lighter and more sure that your goals are coming true. You will get the money you want faster if you can raise your awareness faster. Wealth, consciousness, and the law of attraction. How creative do you think? You can still use the universal rule even if you live in an apartment complex for low-income people by thinking about having lots of money. A friend of mine lived in an old apartment building on the rough side of town. She consistently told herself that she had a lot of money, and she kept picturing having a lot of money every day and every month. This woman worked hard. From a spiritual point of view, she did everything she could to bring in money. She dreamed about having a big house in a fancy part of town every night before she went to sleep. She thought about getting a new Volvo and taking trips all over the world in her mind. She ultimately met a wonderful man who sold real estate because she stayed true to her inner vision and this action plan. Another year went by, and she married this man. On their wedding day, he gave her a new house and a new Volvo. The next thing I'm going to teach you is very important, so please write it down. Because this part is so important, you should take extra time to really understand it all before going on. Well, you need to be very clear about how much money you want right now. You need to understand that you are working with a spiritual force that can send you money or anything else you want through many different ways. You could win the money, find it, or even start a business that makes a lot of money right away. It's not possible to demand that the global law give you $50,000 by 5 p.m. on Thursday and plan to get it. That's not how the law of universality works. It's not a power that can be used against someone. When you try to force or control something, you actually stop the process of creation. This is because these actions show that you don't believe in the universal law's creative process. In other words, if you want $50,000, you should look inside yourself and follow my models to create an awareness of wealth. Law of attraction. Get rich and use it. The universal law can start to work after this is done. You have to be willing to accept the money or other things you need from any source they come through, though. In this way, you are co-creating the universal rule by making sure your ideas and deeds are in line with it. When you tell the global law that your money has to come from a certain source, however, you are breaking the rules. Being anxious and jealous is another thing that can stop you from getting rich. It takes a lot of energy to be impatient, which is a strong sign that you don't trust the universal law to deliver. One more thing is that jealousy is a bad power that can stop your wealth from happening. Your constant feelings of jealousy block your good from coming to you because they are strong affirmations that someone else has what you want. You should emotionally thank someone, like a friend or co-worker, when they get rich or have a lot of money. You should also recognize their good luck. Then you should think about yourself and know that the same thing or something even better can happen to you. The next thing I want to teach you is how to use affirmations correctly. We use very creative words every day, and those words can shape and change our lives. You could say that our words have the power to draw the money we need to us. By saying certain things over and over, we give our subconscious mind a strong belief in wealth. This makes us attract more money. In spiritual terms, what you really believe will come into your life. It's one of my favorite affirmations. I am a blessed and wealthy child of the universe. All of the things I do bring me money. I'm thankful for my good fortune because money comes to me quickly. When you use affirmations, it's important to keep them short and upbeat. This makes it easy for them to take root in your subconscious mind. Some people say their affirmations in the afternoon or evening, but the best time is first thing in the morning, when you're still awake. Your mind is making waves about 12 times per second. This is the best time to change things in your subconscious mind. Like the dirt, your mind should be filled with good thoughts first thing in the morning. The first words you hear in the morning can shape the rest of your day. Make sure your thoughts and affirmations in the morning are good. When you woke up that morning, do you remember that the radio alarm played that song that you had been thinking about all morning? That song was stuck in your head the whole time. The reason for this is that you heard that song when you woke up, and your mind was most open to new ideas in the early morning. That song was stored in your thoughts, which is why you heard it over and over again all morning. That's why you should never hear the news first thing in the morning. Some news stories are bad, and you don't need to start your day that way. So, say your affirmations out loud for a few minutes every morning before you get out of bed. There are times when you can't say your affirmations out loud, but you can still think about them for a few minutes. Instead, you should plan to sit down and write your affirmations on a piece of paper in a few minutes. You need to be very careful about the words you use to talk about your life the whole day. Do you describe yourself with creative, lively words? Also, do you say bad things about yourself? Deep down, the mind doesn't tell the difference between a joke and something real. That's why you should never talk about money. I know a woman who is always sick and always saying, "I am so broke, I am so poor." Because of this, bad things never happen to her. Sadly, her bad thoughts and words keep her from having enough money. Now I'm going to say something else important, so make notes. What you think, say, believe, and do are all constant affirmations of the universal law of who you are. Yes, it's true that a deed is a statement. A lot of people have never heard this thought before, and if we want the universal law to react to our thoughts of plenty, we have to feel good about everything in our lives. As soon as a negative thought comes up, switch it out for a positive statement or a happy memory of a time when you made enough money to meet your wants. When I say, watch your actions, I mean this. Where do you buy your clothes? Do you spend time in thrift stores when you can just grab what you need at a major store? You have $1,000 saved, but you still buy the cheapest jacket you can find, right? It's fine to buy a cheaper jacket if you don't have the money for a higher quality one. If you have the money to buy a good jacket, though, do it. That will remind you that you always have the best. People who spend money are more likely to always have money on hand, since having money is an indication of wealth. When you have money in the bank, you should always be smart, but don't save it up when you need to pay for something important. Along with affirmations, dreams are another thing you can do to bring more money into your life. You should have a clear picture in your mind of what you want after doing this exercise. This is important because you need a mental picture of what you want in order to get it. Also, when you think about what you want, feelings about it may come up. You can use these feelings to change your law of attraction spiritual science goals if you need to. To give you an example, if you set the goal to attract $100,000 but have trouble thinking it can happen or feel like you should aim a bit lower, you should change your goal to $50,000 or something that feels much better to you. Listen, pay attention to how you feel. That's your good talking to you. When I had credit card bills to pay off, I would close my eyes for 10 minutes every day and picture my pocket full of cash. Then I would picture my credit card bills, showing that I had no debt. This was a nice and uplifting image for me, and I liked doing this. The important thing is to make a good picture of yourself that you can accept. It's been a long time since I did this exercise, but I remember having trouble with some images. I would try to picture my bank account showing a sum of $1 million while I worked out, but I could never see the one. In my head, all I saw were a lot of zeros. As I learned more about myself and changed my goals based on what my subconscious mind and feelings told me, I began to picture a check for $50,000 written in my name. For some reason, that picture worked better for me, and the number felt better to me. That's exactly what the universal law gave me, $50,000 as I continued to picture and confirm my wealth. If you have trouble seeing certain images clearly in your mind, that means your subconscious mind is telling you to change your goals a bit. I want you to know that the power you have inside you is alive and smart, and it is always looking out for your best. So pay attention to how you feel, because that's how your subconscious mind talks to you. Now I'll talk about a part of my training that I really enjoy. It's one of the most interesting parts of this philosophy, and it's also one of the best ways to get the money you want. In fact, this exercise is so powerful that it can greatly speed up the process of manifestation. Interestingly, up to 98% of products on the market that claim to help people get rich never even talk about this subject, which is called the practice of getting. Receiving is so important that you will only be able to receive from the universal law 50% of the time if you can't learn it well and practice it. A normal person will tell you that it's better to give than to receive if you bring up getting. But in philosophy, and especially in fortunate thinking, you need to learn how to accept gifts from others if you want the universal law to respond to your thoughts of wealth. Law of attraction is a spiritual way to get money to come to you. The truth is that a lot of people in our society have a tough time accepting. They understand how to give, but not how to receive. They get very scared about it. Many times when someone offers to give them something, I have seen them get tense, drop their keys, or get sweaty hands. Does this sound like something you know? Yes, it does. It's something we all do. I've been there, and I know how scared I can get when someone gives me something or offers to give me something. But the important thing is to keep going and practice taking, even if it scares you at first. There are many reasons why some people have trouble receiving. Low self-esteem and fear of the unknown are two of the most important. Another big reason is that society tells us that wanting more things is greedy. People have even told us that money is the cause of all bad things. It's not money that makes things bad. It's the love of money that often gets in the way. Because you can buy a holiday, a new car, or pay your rent with money, it is neither good nor bad. But greed comes into play when you want more than your fair share and also want your neighbor's share. That's what greed looks like. Because of the global rule, there is no such thing as lack. There is enough money for everyone. Learn to say yes when someone offers you money, a chance, or anything else, even if it's just paying the lunch truck bill. You should look for chances to practice getting throughout the day. Only people who are good at it can get the most out of wealth thinking. You don't have to use everything that other people give you. Give some away. Being open to what people have to offer, on the other hand, keeps your spiritual balance and is in line with your statement that you are a wealthy person. So far, Your commitment and affirmations have been to bring more money into your life. If you turn down anything that comes your way, even a free lunch, you are blocking the flow of substance into your life. If you say that you are wealthy and that the world always takes care of you, but then you get upset because a friend wants to pay for lunch, you are creating a spiritual block and cancelling your statement of wealth. In short, your mind is out of rhythm. The universal law is perfectly balanced, so it can't bring about what you want, because your energy isn't in sync with it when you say one thing and do another. If a friend or co-worker offers to pay for your lunch, don't think about what you can do to return them. Just say thank you and accept the offer. The global rule will take care of the details if your friend is meant to get something back. That day, on your way back from the restaurant, you should think about how things have gone and be grateful that the universal law has given you a free meal. You should also look forward to more times when this power shows up in your life. Keep in mind that you are working with energy, and since it is energy, it has to react to you in some way. That's why I said earlier that the law of all laws can never say no. The global rule is intelligent energy, so it will always answer you in some way. Think about it this way. The universal law will answer you in two different ways. When your energy is high enough and you are ready to accept what you have set your heart on, it will answer you by saying yes. As Dr. Emmett Fox said, this is when you have set up a mental equal. The second thing the universal law will do is tell you to wait. This means you need to keep working on yourself. Your wealth is still coming to you, but it will take a little longer because you are still determined to make it happen. But you can be sure that the universal law will give you what you want if you keep trying and are really dedicated. One day at work, a woman friend of mine gave me some shoes that her husband had never worn. This is one of my favorite examples of how I kept trying to receive things. For that reason, I never turned down anything that was offered to me, even if it was just a few cookies or a can of soda. Anyway, this woman friend of mine told me the shoes were brand new and would fit me perfectly. There was a pair of two-tone leather shoes inside the box that looked like they were out of style 25 years ago. I was shocked when she gave them to me. The shoes were ugly, and there was McFuzz where the laces tie at the top. I almost laughed out loud, but my friend was being so nice about giving me the shoes that I somehow kept it together. I could have fallen to the floor laughing at that point, or I could have done what I said I would do and been a good player in that situation. Now, on my way home that afternoon, I took those shoes to the first Goodwill store I could find. But later, I thought about how I was able to receive, even though I was wearing tacky dance shoes. That's how you should be, listener. You should get so good at this exercise that you never turn down something that comes your way. This will help you believe that you are a good listener, and most importantly, it will balance your energy so that your thoughts, words, feelings, and actions are all in sync. Because of this, the law of attraction will work for you, and money will start coming into your life. You also can't turn down money you find on the ground, like pennies on the sidewalk. If you see cash on the ground, you should always pick them up, because the law doesn't care how much money they are worth. Then you should think about how balanced you are getting and how much you are in sync with the law of nature. I keep all the coins I find on the street in a certain room in my house. In every moment that I see those coins, I thank the universal law for giving them to me, because I know that they are energy coming to me from the universal law. As you become more aware of the little things in your life that are actually energy moving toward you from the universal law, your personal power will grow. Eventually you'll find that your energy is strong enough to bring that goal into your life, no matter what it is. You might think it's silly to pick up pennies and get weird dance shoes or other things from people who want to give them to you, but this isn't about collecting pennies. It has to do with how committed you are to wealth, how well you can accept, and how open you are to the flow of endless possibilities. You should focus on accepting everything that is offered to you, even if it's just a cup of coffee or a small gift. When you do accept something, you should remind yourself that you can receive it, give thanks that the universal law is responding to you, and then rest on the thought that the money you want is just around the corner. We've talked about the universal law, making goals, affirmations, visions, and the practice of getting. Now you can use what you've learned in real life. I have given you the most powerful method for wealth that you may ever find. I've already said that I've used this same tool to win $50,000 in the state lottery and to make a business that makes me a lot of money. The power of the universal law can help you if you use it. The most important thing is that you follow the rules I've given you every day. That's what's called a wealth action plan. It took me 8 months to bring in a $50,000 lottery win, and I stayed positive about my life during that time. I worked on my thoughts and stayed committed to my money goal using the law of attraction. The most important thing for me was to make sure that everything I did matched what I was confirming. I never said anything bad about myself or the people I knew because I was always wishing them luck and wealth. I knew that I had to accept everything that happened to me, and I also knew that what I said and did had to match the order I formed with the universal law. Whenever I had a bad thought, I would immediately switch it out for a thought of plenty. It was the same with what I said and did, which I carefully watched. The global law can only give you what you think it can give you. As you can see, listener, your wealth has to come through your awareness in order to appear. Because of what you believe and what you expect, it has to come from you. If you think and believe bad things, then nothing can flow through you. When it came to me, it took 8 months to get rid of all the bad thoughts I had about money. If I could get rid of all the bad stuff in 1 month, then my wealth would have shown up in that same month. Some people who listen to this show will be able to make their dreams come true in a few months, while for others, it may take a little longer. How much mental clutter and bad thoughts you have will determine what action you take. Follow the steps in the plan and make every day a holy day when you can learn from the laws of nature all around you. There is a cosmic law that says you have all the power and will reach your goal if you stay true to your vision and act in line with it.